Let's chat about having noble thoughts, having good thoughts, having true thoughts, which is sometimes very difficult sometimes when you are faced with problems in your business, when you lose clients, when you lose even colleagues. Let's say when you lose people who are working for you, going to another company because they pay better. When maybe even some stuff aren't well at home and it affects your job, that you always have to keep it 100% and that you always have to keep the noble thoughts. And I love this verse. I love this verse so much because each and every time I'm faced with a difficulty within myself, within my business, within my marriage, within me with the kids, I literally always think about this. And it's in Philippians 4 verse 8. It says, in conclusion, my brothers and sisters, fill your minds with those things that are good, that deserve praise, that are true, that are noble, and that are right, that are pure, that are lovely, and that are honorable. So for me, all of that is good. It's like good. Just fill your mind with those stuff, right? And it has become such a beautiful practice that I do. For instance, now, what recently happened to me is my car broke down, and the only thing that you can think is negative stuff. And I had to force myself to think of noble, true, right, pure, lovely, honorable things that deserve praise, because I immediately went to God. Man, Dad, thank you that I at least have a car. You go through that, and you go through whatever your plan is with this at the moment that's busy happening. I literally give it to you, God, because there's a bigger plan in this season of my life right now that maybe I might not be seeing. But I want to throw this to you, Rob, is that there's most probably been a lot of moments in your business and in your life where there were a whole lot of negative thoughts. How did you twist that into the positive and actually propel it into a forward movement?
I think it would be fair to say that it's a battle that I still struggle with daily today, if I'll be completely honest. I think that's the starting point. There's several examples that come to mind, and I think I lost a big client recently. That was a bit of a thing, and I think many business owners experience that wave of clients coming and clients going, and hopes. You hope you're going to get this client and then you don't, or you hope you're going to get the deal and then you don't. And as I read this in preparing for our chat today, it struck me, and you started off with the word noble, but the word noble is actually preceded by, before the word noble is the word true. And that takes me back to like, the truth will set me free.
Oh.
And I suppose when I get to those moments, the truth will set me free is that none of this is mine anyway. None of this is actually about me. This is all his and him, his and his. It's not mine. And so I think we can go and think about noble, right, pure, lovely, honorable, so on and so forth. And I think that all of that's good. But I think the starting point has to be, it's actually not mine to start with. I am just the steward. And you said this when your car broke down, right? It's actually his plan for you to have a car breakdown. I mean, and I wonder, do you find it easier? Because I find it easier when I go back to the truth of it's not mine anyway, and it's his plan anyway. When I go back there, doing noble, right, pure, lovely, honorable becomes easier.
100%.
Like, do you find that easier for you as opposed to just like trying to force doing right, for instance?
Man, 100%. Because with this, the bigger picture of this is always it brings God glory and honor and praise, and that is the bigger picture of whatever we're going through. I always think about it as, how can this bring God honor, glory, and praise? Because after this is done and after the season is done, I literally believe that God is going to bless me in such a way that I won't be able to explain it, that it won't be a thing of Thabiso did it. It would be a thing of, man, God did this. Like, he put all of this in place. He put all of this in plan. I did none of this. And for me, it's important when I go through stuff that is the end result. And I believe that is indeed going to be the end result of, you know what, the outcome of this, I couldn't have done it. God did it.
There is there's a reality. Maybe there's a mechanic out there for your car who really needs the business at this point in time. Maybe there's another coaching business that really needs that size of contract at this point in time. Because the reality is, I don't. I'd like it. It would be wonderful to have it. Don't get me wrong. Maybe it would stretch me further than I can actually go in terms of capacity, or maybe it would stop me recognizing an opportunity that's just around the corner that I don't know is coming. And so I think, we often talk about like a positive mental attitude or a mindset, but I often think that's like it's trying to force something as opposed to bring something out that's natural.
Oh,
and when you think about it, God's got a plan for this, right? We don't know what it is, but we could start guessing what it is. Maybe the mechanic doesn't need the cash, but maybe it's an opportunity for you to disciple. And I think we get so wrapped up in the I of Rob or the I of Thabiso that we actually lose the he. And I don't know where I'm going to with this, but I have this gut inside of me that every time I come back to I and I lose he, more random bad stuff happens to me. And the more I stick with he and let go of I, the more good stuff happens to me. How do you experience it? Do you experience that?
I do experience that, and it brings me actually to the next question that I wanna ask you, Rob, is that where have you found that? Because I have a beautiful personal story that I'm gonna tell you in literally 2 minutes. But where do you find that God has actually turned something that in our eyes, in me, as you said, in me, was bad, but then He turned it into good, and you saw that, man, this supposed bad thing that happened was actually an opportunity, you said it so beautifully, for me to be able to disciple in this context of what happened.
So Saturday actually would be a really good example of this, when we ran the Side Hustle seminar that you were there and emceed at, in as much as 8 or 9 days before the event. So leading up to the event, we were gifted a huge email database to market the event to 35,000 people. I mean, huge. And it produced next to nothing in terms of people to attend that event. And so we looked at it, and we had over 20 spaces still available 8 or 9 days beforehand. And so I went out there, and I just went out to the networks and said, who wants to come? And then people started coming. And it gave me the opportunity to connect with people at the weekend who I wouldn't have connected with
That is amazing.
Otherwise. The 35,000 person database was stone cold. But there must have been a reason why it was stone cold, because it's not logical that it was stone cold, especially with the processes and the warming up and everything we've done for months leading up to this. It isn't like we just sent one email and hoped for the best. And yet we filled that room on Saturday. I think we had 3 seats out of the 50 left. It put me in the presence of people who obviously I needed to be in the presence of. Now, look, I can only guess. Maybe I needed to be in the presence of them, or they needed to be in the presence of me. I don't really know. But it did play out in a way. And here's the crazy thing. It was remarkably easy to get that last 60% to fill that room. Effortless.
Oh, I love this. Look, we had a chat about Proverbs 10, verse 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is so cool. So instead of us actually just concentrating on the network, as you say, that we have, we try to go a lot out, which we should have actually just concentrated here. And as you said, it was easy. It was easy to do.
That's it. It was seamless, actually. There was like hands going up everywhere saying, yes, me, and people signing up and so on and so forth. And so I just think that the truth is he's got a plan, and it is there to be there without painful toil, and it is there to be effortless. It is there to just work. Because the verse goes on, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. That engineering of the email list over multiple months and warming it up and multiple tech platforms and this and that and so on and so forth, that doesn't really feel excellent or praiseworthy.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that stuff broken and you shouldn't do it and it shouldn't work. But that's definitely the bit that's like boomed me recently in terms of this. And I think so many business owners out there have so many people around them just waiting to be invited to do business with them, to be a customer, to buy again. And we're just not inviting people often enough. We're not having conversations with them often enough. We've got their email address, we've got their phone number, they've bought from us in the past. We're just not loving them enough in order to go and have them come do business with us. We're almost scared of trying to sell to them again. But really they want to. If they bought once and they were delighted, why on earth wouldn't they want to buy a second time? Samsung Global, and I don't know what its data is today, but a point in time in about 2017, 2018, its target was for people to buy from them for a Samsung product 2 or 3 times a year from Samsung. Because Samsung recognized they had a really high quality level of products and that people would really benefit from having quality products in their homes. That's praiseworthy.
Sure.
Come on, tell me your story. You can't go and say 2 minutes and then leave it 3 minutes and not tell me the story.
I love it. No, so for me, and excuse me going back to this part, because this has been a huge reality in my life at the moment, and that is my vehicle, right? So I've had my vehicle actually break down time and time again, or we would need an extra vehicle in the household for my wife to basically be able to run the household and with the kids, and for me to go to work. This has resulted in me actually building up relationships, collaborations, and partnerships with a lot of car brands. So what happens is at my complex, people will always see a different car parked in my parking lot. And they come to me and they're like, dude, what do you do for it? Or how come there's always a different car in your parking lot? Or there's a Mustang. The other day I had a Ford Bucky, and it would be a Kia, or it would be the Mini that I drove in Cape Town. So they would ask, and that for me is literally, it is such an open door for me to tell them about God. And I immediately do. And it becomes such a fun thing for me to do, because I acknowledge the fact that I can't do this without God. And also what might in my life and in my family's life seem like something that is such an inconvenience. We don't have a second car to run errands when I'm at work, or the car keeps on breaking down. Of course, that stuff, it's not nice. It's not really nice to go through, but there's a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is for whoever's going to ask me about that, to tell them that, man, why this is actually busy happening is because of God. It's not because of me. And now it opened this conversation between me and you now, to tell you about how awesome God is, but also to tell you that it is due to me actually going through a difficult time that all of this bling and this flash is happening. So don't expect that when you are in God's presence and when you are saturated with God, that everything is just going to go well and everything is just going to go be hunky-dory. No, you're going to get challenging times, but God is going to bless you out of your socks through those challenging times. It all depends on your attitude, because my attitude also had to be right throughout all of this that I'm busy going through now. And it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
I wanted people to hold on to this blessing, and also hold on to the fact that the next episode that's going to be live is going to bounce straight off the back of this one.
Oh,
without us even realizing it. So thank you for listening. Subscribe, share, comment, all those are wonderful, beautiful things. Tell me how beautiful To Be So Smile is. And thank you for joining us today.